Tantor Audio, a division of Recorded Books, presents Dark Screams, Volume 3, edited by Brian James Freeman and Richard Chismer, narrated by Joe Barrett. The Collected Short Stories of Freddie Prothero. Introduction by Torlis Magnuson, Ph.D. Peter Straub. The present volume presents in chronological order every known short story written by Freddie Prothero. Of causes that must remain ever obscure, he died flying solo, his expression for venturing out in search of solitude, in a field 2 blocks from his house in Prospect Fair, Connecticut. His death took place in January 1988, 9 months before his 9th birthday. It was a Sunday. At the hour of his death, approximately 4 o'clock of a bright, cold, snow-occluded day, the writer was wearing a hooded tan snowsuit he had in fact technically outgrown, a red woolen scarf festooned with pills, an imitation Aran knit sweater, navy blue with cables, a green and blue plaid shirt from Sam's, dark green corduroys with cuffs beginning to grow ragged, a shapeless white jockey T-shirt also worn the day previous, jockey briefs, once white, now stained lemon yellow across the Y front, white tube socks, True Value Velcro sneakers so abraded as nearly to be threadbare, and black calf-high rubber boots with 6 metal buckles. The inscription on the toaster-sized tombstone in Prospect Fair's spacious Gullickson & Son Cemetery reads, Frederick Michael Prothero, 1979 to 1988, a new angel in heaven. In that small span of years, really in a mere 3 of those not yet 8.5 years, Freddie Prothero went from apprenticeship to mastery with unprecedented speed, in the process authoring 10 of the most visionary short stories in the English language. It is my belief that this collection will now stand as a definitive monument to the unique merits and difficulties presented by the only genuine prodigy in American literature. That Prothero's fiction permits a multiplicity of interpretations supplies a portion, though scarcely all, of its interest to both the academic and the general reader. Beginning in 1984 with childish, nearly brutal simplicity, and evolving toward the more polished, though still in fact unfinished, form of expression seen in the work of his later years, these stories were apparently presented to his mother, Varda Prothero, née Barthelmy. Bathy, Bathy, Mama say. In any case, Mama Bathy Prothero preserved them, perhaps after the fact, in individual manila files within a snug, smoothly mortised and sanded cherry wood box. As this example demonstrates, the earliest Prothero, the stories written from his 5th to 7th years, displays the improvised variant spelling long encouraged by American primary schools. The listener will easily decipher the childish code, although I should perhaps explain that budgig stands for bad guy. From first to last, the stories demonstrate the writer's awareness of the constant presence of a budgig, a threatening, indeterminate figure invested with all the terrifying power and malignity of the monster beneath a child's bed haunts this fiction. Prothero's monster figure, however, is not content to confine itself to the underside of his bed. It roams the necessarily limited map of the writer's forays both within and outside of his house, that is, across his front yard, down Gerhardy Street, which runs past his house, through the supermarket he, stroller-bound, visits with his mother, and perhaps above all, in the shadowy, clamorous city streets he is forced to traverse with his father on the few occasions when R. Randolph Sullivan Sully Prothero brought him along to the law office, where he spent 60 hours a week in pursuit of the partnership attained in 1996, 8 years after his son's death, and 2 prior to his own unexplained disappearance. The commuter train from Prospect Fair to Penn Station was another location favored by the omniscient shadow figure. Though these occasions were in fact no more than an annual event, more specifically on the Take Your Son to Work days of 1985 to 86, they had a near-traumatic, no, let us face the facts and say traumatic, effect on Prothero. He pleaded, he wept, he screamed, he cowered gibbering in terror. One imagines the mingled disdain and distress of the fellow passengers, the unsympathetic conductor. The journey through the streets to 54th and Madison was a horrifying trek, actually heroic on the boy's part. A high-functioning alcoholic chronically unfaithful to his spouse, Sully was an absent, at best an indifferent father. In her role as mother, Varda, about whom one has learned so much in recent years, can be counted, alas, as no better. The Fairhaven pharmacists, open to examinations of their records by a scholar of impeccable credentials, have permitted us to document Varda's reliance upon the painkillers Vicodin, Percodan, and Percocet. Those seeking an explanation for her son's shabby, ill-fitting wardrobe need look no further. One wishes almost to weep. His poor little snowsuit too tight for his growing body. In his autopsy, conducted in a completely up-to-date facility in Norwalk, Connecticut, revealed that but for a single slice of bread, lightly smeared with oleomargarine, that Prothero had eaten nothing at all that day. Imagine. In some quarters, the 4 stories of 1984, his 5th year, are not thought to belong in a collection of his work, being difficult to decode from their primitive spelling and level of language. Absent any narrative sense whatsoever, these very early works perhaps ought to be considered poetry rather than prose. Prothero would not be the first author of significant fiction to begin by writing poems. The earliest works do, however, present the first form of this writer's themes, and perhaps offer multiple suggestions of their emotional and intellectual significance. Among the small number of us dedicated Protherians, considerable disagreement exists over the meaning and identification of the Manot Man, sometimes Monot Man. Man, not man, is one likely decipherment of the term. Mammoth Man, another. In the first of these works, Tistiri Uboy Freddie, or The Story About Freddie, Prothero writes, I am not Freddie. And we are told that Freddie, a scaredy cat, needs him precisely because Freddie is not Monot Man. Can you hear me, everybody? He asks. This is an important truth. This precocious child is self-protectively separating from himself within the double protection of art, the only realm available to the sane mind in which such separation is possible. All true, he tells us. It is all true. It should go without saying, though unhappily it cannot, that the author's statement in the more mature spelling and diction of his 6th year that a man came from the sky does not refer to the appearance of an extraterrestrial. Some of my colleagues in Prothero's studies strike one as nearly as juvenile as, though rather less savvy than, the doomed, hungry little genius who so commands all of us. 1984. Testiri Uboy Freddie. I am not Freddie. Freddie not be me. Ha ha. Freddie is be nice too. Can you hear me every? Freddie is scaredy cut, fraidy cut, not me. He need me. Monot Man, I scare him, ha ha. Because Monot Man, he is night. Boo! All true. Ta story about Monot Man. Bathy, Mama say. Bathy me nam. Mamma say, in good days it was Bathy. Monot Moon, be listen. Yes, he listen. Oh. Denver was a boy named Freddie. Say, Monot Man. He say, every way in Shartivi table rugire. Freddie an manut men. Manut mun say, good boy, Freddie, good boy. And night say, screak! Her was the budgig. Screak! Mummy no here, only Freddie. Tabugig smiles, hippie budgig, screak! At night. It tears me eart apart. It hurts my eart, me eart. Poor earsies. Bug flies in sky. Bug walks on grass. Why not Freddie can be bug? Oh, ha, Freddie, poor boy, poor boy. Ta story about Daddy. We go and train, say Daddy. We walk streets, say Daddy. No anu, say Freddie. Budget listen and laugh, you cry baby. Cry all you want, say Manut man. Daddy say, sit here, sit down, son. And the boy sat down on a train with Manut man right beside him. The boy was scared at night. No, he say. No, Mama, not train. Ha ha. Daddy be not Manut man. Freddie be not Manut man. Mumna be not Manut man. Ha, no, 'cause Manut man is me. Around the corner, down the street, everywhere. Daddy say, walk faster, walk faster. What are you afraid of? What? The corner the street, Freddie say. 1985. The corner. The boy was standing. He was standing in the corner. There was a man who came from the sky. The sky was all black. I ate the stars, said the man around the corner. The boy closed his eyes. I ate the stars. I ate the moon and the sun. Now I eat the world, and you in it. He laughed. You go play now, he said. If play you can. Ha ha! He laughed. Freddie walked until he ran. That was soon. I was in my corner and I saw that. I saw him run. Run, Freddie! Run, little boy! Where is Freddie? He was not in the bed. He was not in the kitchen. He was not in the living room. The mama could not find little Freddie. The man from the black sky came and took the boy to the room in the sky. The mama called the dada, and she said, Are you taking the boy? Give him back, she said. This is my son, she said. And the dada said, Calm down here. Are you crazy? Because remember, this is my son too. Only I don't have him. I saw from the room in the sky. I heard. They looked so little and small and teeny tiny down there, small as the bugs. Are you Freddie? Asked the man of the room. No, he said. I was never him. Now I am the black sky, and I was always the black sky. Freddie is last. The mama, the dada, they said, where could he be? It was funny. They cried out his name. Freddie, Freddie, you are lost. Can you hear us? No and yes, he said. You wouldn't. Now, the one who comes for me sometimes is in fields, sometimes in grass or road or city far away. He said, Boy, you are not Freddie, and Freddie is not you. He said, Boy, Manutman is what you call me. Manutman is my name. Manutman is forever. The boy went down Gerhardy Street and looked for his face. It was there on the street, all rough. The boy made it smooth with his own hands. When he tried it on, it fit perfect on his face. His face fit on his face. It was warm from the sun. Warm face is good. It is like Mama Bathy and Dada Jim long ago. I love your face, Mama said. Your sweet face. There is only one like it in the world. So I could not stay in my house. It was not my house any more. It was, Leave, Freddie, leave, boy, for me. Then the boy, came back and said, I went nowhere, that's where. No, he said, I did not go to the city. No, I did not go to the wood. I went to nowhere, that's where. It was all true. All true it was, said the boy, whose face was new. He was Minute-Man inside, and Minute-Man said, Ha, 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 many times. His laughter shook the door, and it filled up the room. 1986. Not long left. The boy lived in this our world, and in a different one, too. He was a boy who walked up the stairs twice and down the stairs only once. The second time he went down, he was not him. Minute-Man, you called me long ago, and Minute-Man I shall be. The boy saw the friendly old enemy hiding in the doorways and in the shadows of the deep gutter. When he took a step, so did Minute-Man, his enemy, his friend. The mama grabbed his hand and she said too loud, Sonny boy, you are still only 7 years old. Sometimes I swear you act like a teenager. I'm sorry, Mama, he said. I will never be a teenager. What's that I hear? She said. Did you get that from your precious Minute-Man? You don't know his name. When they got to the corner at the end of the block, the boy smiled and told to his mama, I have not long left, you will see. I have not long left, she said. Where do you get this stuff? He smiled, and that was his answer. What happens when you look up? Let's say you stand at the bottom of the stairs. Let's say you look up. A voice tells you, look up, look up. Are you happy? Are you brave? You must look all the way to the top. All the way. Freddie is right there at the top. But you don't see Freddie. You don't. You can't see the top. You don't see how it goes on and on the stairs. You don't see. You can't. Then the man goes outside and again hears the voice. Look up, Sully. It is the time you must look up. Freddie's daddy you are, so look up and see him. Are you good? Are you nice? Are you strong and brave? Are you standing on your front lawn and leaning back to look up here in the sky? Can you see him? No. No, you can't. Because Freddie is not there. And Freddie is not there because Mr. Nothing Nowhere Nobody is there. He laughed. Mr. Nothing Nowhere Nobody laughed out loud. The man on his front lawn is not happy, and he is not brave. No, and not so strong. Let's say that's true. Yes, let's say it. And the Mr. Nothing Nowhere Nobody, he is not there, except he is never at the top of the stairs. And he never leaves. He never left. Ha! The Boy and the Book. Once there was a boy named Frank Pincushion. That was a comical name, but Frank liked his name. He had 1,000,000 friends at school and 1,000,000,000 at home. At school, his best friends were Charlie, Bruce, Mike, and Johnny. At home, he was friends with Homer, Momer, Gomer, Domer, Jomer, and Vomer. They never made fun of his name because it was good, like Bartlemy. Their favorite book was called The Mountain Over the Wall, Down the Big River, Trimmer, Trounce to the Underground. It was a very long, long book, and it was a good story. In the book there was a boy named Freddie. Al Frank's 1,000,000 friends wanted to be Freddie. He was their hero, brave and strong. One day Frank Pincushion went out to walk alone by himself. Far he went, so far. Little Frank walked out of his neighborhood and walked some more. He walked over streets, over bridges, and through canyons. He was never afraid. Then he came to the great river, Trimmer, Trouncey. And what did he do? In he jumped and dived straight down. At the bottom was a huge hall where he could breathe and wasn't even wet. The walls were high red curtains, and the ceiling was so far away he could not see it. Golden plates and golden cups and golden chains lay heaped up on the floor. "Hello! Hello!" Freddie yelled. "Hello, hello, hello!" A door opened. A tall man in a red cloak and wearing a crown came in the big room. He was the king. The king looked angry. "Who are you? And why are you yelling, 'Hello, hello'?" "I am Frank Pincushion," he said. "But I am Freddie, too, and I was here before. And we will have a great fight, and I will trick you and earn all the gold." "Let's say I tell you something," said the king. "Let's say you listen. Are we clear?" "Yes, clear," said Frank. The king walked forward and touched his chest. The king said, "I am not I, and you are not you. Do you understand me?" "Yes," said the boy. "I understand." Then he took his knife and killed the king and walked into the heaps of gold. "I am not me," he said, and looked at his hands. His hands were bloody and dripped over the gold. He laughed, that boy. He laughed so hard. His laughter went up to the ceiling. Freddie, he could see his laughter. Like smoke was his laughter, like a twisty rope made of smoke. But he could not see the ceiling. He never saw the ceiling. Not once. Group of 30 by Jack Ketchum. When the phone rang just before lunchtime, he was on the computer, as he should have been, but he wasn't working. He wasn't writing. He wasn't even doing business via email. He was reading the 2 weeks' worth of collected fan mail on his website and feeling more than ever like a fraud. He didn't even have the will to answer these people. Nor the phone, either. The message machine kicked in with the usual. Then he heard, Hello, Mr. Daniels? You don't know me. My name's Will Harris, and I'm calling for the Essex County Science Fiction Group out here in Livingston. That's New Jersey. We were hoping you'd do us a favor. A number of us have been reading you for a long time now and really like your work, and we're wondering if you'd consider doing a talk at our monthly meeting. I'd have called sooner, but I only just found that limited edition of The Neighborhood where Stephen King gives your real name and says that you live in Manhattan. So I called Manhattan Information, and there you are, listed. I know you don't write much in the way of science fiction, but that's fine because we're interested in fantasy and horror, too. And we thought, with Halloween coming up, it'd be awesome to have a horror writer this time. We'd pick up your expenses, naturally, and buy you dinner, and... The machine cut him off. He considered the voice, waiting for the guy to call again. Young. Awesome gave that away. 20s, maybe 30s. White, middle class, used to working the telephone, but no expert at it, not a broker. Sales, maybe. The phone rang again. The machine did its thing. Then, sorry about that, Mr. Daniels. Anyway, we'd pick up expenses and dinner, and if you have any books you want to sign and sell here, you could bring them along. There would be about 30 of us, and we're all great readers. So if you're interested, and I hope you are, the date we have in mind is Saturday the 14th, though we could do it on the 21st if that's more convenient for you. Again, my name's Will Harris, and you can reach me at 201-992-6709. That's 201-992-6709. Hope to hear from you soon. Thanks. Bye. He sat there staring at the computer, at the list of messages. The people who read him. What did he owe these people? Anything? He felt he did. He'd reached out to the world with his books, and the world, at least some small part of the world, was reaching back. He didn't need it. It was not what he'd signed on for. But there it was. At first, it had been fun. Conventions, readings, lines of kids 20 years younger than him, waiting for his signature, for a word with him, their hero, the scary horror writer. A lot of them wanted to be writers themselves. A lot of them women, 20 years younger than him, some of whom were even willing to share his bed. He collected the awards, shook a lot of hands, got used to the feel of hand sanitizer, sticky and then smooth, and learned how to apply it on the off moments so as not to offend, perfected the quick, jagged pen strokes of his pseudonym. But he'd been doing this for more than 30 years now. Did he owe them still? He felt he did. And there he sat, doing nothing. He supposed it was self-interest, too, on his part. Not the fame, or in his case minor notoriety, not even the willing women. By answering the messages, by showing up at the conferences and signings and conventions, he was cementing his connection to his readers. He was pitching them his legacy, in hopes that they'd catch it on the fly and run with it after he was gone. It was all about the books, his sole offspring. And he wouldn't be here very much longer now to throw that pitch. He might have years, but probably not all that many, considering. He had emphysema. He had myelofibrosis. Neither of them acute just now, both chronic. Slow reveals, slowly draining him of energy. His lungs and his bone marrow in a competition to see who'd kill him first. He still smoked a pack a day. He thought the smart money was on the bones, though there was still the possibility of that other thing, doing something careless, drunk or sober, which could take him out yet. You live well into your 60s. Half the time your back's out, your skin's dry no matter how much you moisturize. You shrink. Your muscle tone goes all to hell. As packages go, you are severely damaged in shipping. He closed out his message page and left the website in favor of saved email. Scrolled down, way down. This one was nearly 18 months old now. I wish with all my heart that we could do this, you and I. But we don't want the same things. I wish we did. You don't want kids, and I do. You want New York, and I've had it with New York. I'm 34. I've got to move on. I hate doing this via email, but I don't have the courage to talk to you.
Sample complete. Ready to continue?